Matthew chapter 6 verse 10. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. This could be our opening prayer as we look at the Lord's Prayer, and what we read in Matthew 6 verse 10 is that the kingdom of God comes on the earth and that this will be done in earth as it is in heaven. We read in Mind, Character, and Personality, Volume 1, page 53, now as never before, we need to understand the true science of education. If we fail to understand this, we shall never have a place in the kingdom of God. This is life eternal, that they may know thee, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom thou hast sent. John chapter 17, verse 3. If this is the price of heaven, shall not our education be conducted on these lines? Looking now at the news, this is taken from the Atlantic magazine. Christian leaders may return to Nicaea. What does it mean? In 2025, which is 4 years from now, Roman Catholics and Eastern Orthodox Christians could go back to the place where early followers of Jesus tried to create a consensus among all of Christendom. So these are very important news for us to watch and see what is coming in the world, even if it's a few years from now. And this could become actually our main study of the kingdom of God to come, and also that this will be done in heaven and in earth. Even the Roman Catholic Church declares it, the importance for them of the Decree of Nicaea. Mark your calendar. In 2025, Roman Catholics and Eastern Orthodox Christians may return to Nicaea, the spot in modern-day Turkey where Christianity was literally defined. In 325 AD, early followers of Jesus came together to figure out what it means to be a Christian. The goal was to create theological consensus across all of Christendom. This was way before the faith subdivided into East versus West, Catholics versus Protestants, Southern Baptists versus Primitive Baptists. These were the early days of the religion when it still seemed like it could be observed as one united faith. The council effect on Christianity was huge. For one thing, most Bible school students still learn some version of the Nicene Creed, the profession of Christian faith. Now, if we go a little bit further in that study and look actually of the effect of the Decree of Nicaea, which was called by the Roman Catholic Church at the time and the Roman Emperor Constantine, it not only defined the Christianity, it actually changed it. It changed it at two important levels, the nature of Christ and also the biblical calendar. 1700 years later, the Roman Catholic Church is proposing to celebrate this change, which is nothing but the application of Daniel chapter 7 verse 25. He shall think to change the times and the law. And the time having to do with the calendar and the law having to do with the fourth commandment. It was very much a redefining of Christianity. And this is what we are here today to do, is to repair that breach that has been done through the Decree of Nicaea 1700 years ago. And God hear our voices that 2025 will not be an opportunity for the Roman Catholic and the Eastern Orthodox Church to celebrate this blasphemy. If the Lord gives us strength, we can overcome this, we can banish it, and we can make it so that Babylon will be falling flat on its face with its mortar and its bricks. We're inviting you now to look at a book which is a very important book. This is actually the book of Living Fountain and broken cisterns, but just to read a few verses here, a few paragraphs from that book, from page 6, and then we will introduce you to the book itself, where to find it, and then you can read from there. Dealing with wisdom is education. If it be the wisdom of the world, then it is worldly education. But if, on the other hand, it is a search for the wisdom of God, it is Christian education. Over these two questions, the controversy between good and evil is waging. The final triumph of truth will place the advocates of Christian education in the kingdom of God. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship in spirit and in truth. I think it's worth it to read again what it says here. Over these two questions, the controversy between good and evil is waging. The question of worldly education or Christian education. And this is based on wisdom. The final triumph of truth will place the advocates of Christian education in the kingdom of God. Remember Matthew 6 verse 10, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship in spirit and in truth. That education which links men with God, the source of wisdom, and the author and finisher of our faith, is a spiritual education and prepares the heart for that kingdom which is within. So here we have more than one principle. We have education, we have wisdom, we have faith, and we have the kingdom of God within. These are themes that we want to expand on and study more and more in order for the kingdom of God to come, and may we see it in our lifetime. So now we'd like to take you to 144,000 teachers at the website itself and bring you to the study that we have done already with the book Living Fountain or Broken Cistern from Elder Sutherland. You can watch the video once more if you like. It's a very important video. It's a resume of his book. But the main concern for this study would be to read the book itself. You can find it here in the PDF form, and this is where you can purchase it if you want to have the paperback. And when you go for this particular version, this is what it looks like. This is the original book written by Elder Sutherland. And basically, it's the same version, it's the same book, but we want to offer you a version that's a little bit more new, I suppose. And there is another book that we have included in our writing. But you can see here this book. We're going to go and look at it for a second here. This is the book that was written by Elder Sutherland, the one who started the Madison School in Tennessee in the 1900s, and he died about 1955. Living Fountain or Broken Cistern, an educational problem for Protestants. Jeremiah 2:13, this is where the title comes from. My people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living water, and hew them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. And at first, Brother Sutherland was the president of Battle Creek College until he went to two other colleges and then started his own school with Percy Megan. And this is where they have basically come up with this book on education. This is the book of Elder Sutherland. And this was actually published in 1900. But this book is a treasure, and you should not eliminate the value of this book just because it's 121 years old. Now, there is another version that is easier to read if you prefer. It's not marked like this one, and it can be found in the library of 144,000 teachers. And you simply scroll down to section 3, the calendar books, and you click on it, and you will get that version, which is the same exactly, but it's adapted with the typewriting a little bit easier to read. And you can increase it like this and start reading it. And at this point, this is what I'm encouraging you to do. We don't know how fast you can read, So we encourage you to read the chapters by chapters, and don't stop until you have read the whole book, because although the video has been done and many people love that video, I think it's worth it that you take time to read also the book. So this is the study I'm encouraging you to do until the month of September, where we are praying and wanting to set up a conference that will be studying actually how to establish the kingdom of heaven in earth and the will of God to be accomplished in earth as it is in heaven. And we can actually participate in this. We can hasten the coming of the Lord by understanding these wonderful truths. And we could call these truths again wisdom, education, and the kingdom of God. This is the title that we would like to give to this study. Wisdom, the source of wisdom, true education, and thy kingdom come. So this is at this time, we're encouraging you to open up your website and check, especially this version here, which is easier to read. You can increase the fonts and you can read, and you don't have to read the whole book. It's not the way to read that book because it's a study book, but you will see the importance of true education as it relates to true wisdom and the kingdom of God, which is in fact its government. Thy government come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. May the Lord bless you and cause his face to shine upon you and give you peace as you enter this study, very important study, and start right at the beginning with the preface and then go from there. God bless you.